Good morning. Happy Thursday. So, neurolinguistic programming, neuroassociative conditioning, anchoring, that's also another term that you could use to define that. We've been talking about it, and your assignment was to start to notice where you've got neuroassociative conditioning things going on. We're going to talk about it a little bit more before we start talking about how to change things. I said you're being conditioned all the time, and you really are. I mean, think about alcohol. The first time that you took a drink of alcohol, did you take a drink of it and go, oh my God, this tastes amazing? Did it taste like the first time you had apple pie or ice cream or mac and cheese? Obviously not. First time you took a drink of alcohol, most of the time people took that drink and were like, oh my God, this tastes terrible. But you kept drinking it. Why? Well, probably because peer pressure or some role model drank alcohol and you wanted to be like that person, either a parent or some sort of relative, or you wanted to fit into the crowd. So you reconditioned yourself to enjoy that experience. The same is true with smoking. I mean, why do manufacturers of products try so hard to get those products in the hands of celebrities? Because if you see somebody that you like and admire and they're using a product, you're going to be apt to want to get that product. So that's why celebrities don't pay for the products that they wear. Somebody dresses them, and the watches that they wear are given to them. Because if you see that, then you're going to want to do it. I pulled this out, this water bottle, as I was sitting here thinking about this as I was walking out this morning. So I love the Marvel movies, and in particular, I love Iron Man. That's my favorite character in the Marvel movies, and I love the Iron Man movies. This is the water bottle that Tony Stark was using in Iron Man 2, and I saw the movie and I saw that water bottle and I was like, "Oh my God, that's so cool." And I immediately went online and I immediately bought one. Now, did I need another water bottle? No, I did not need another water bottle. Why did I buy it? I bought it because I love the character Tony Stark, and I saw him using the water bottle, and I was conditioned, and I allowed myself to go right into that moment and buy the water bottle. Conditioning is incredibly powerful, and it's happening to you constantly. And we also call them anchors. An anchor is a trigger where you hear something or smell something and it takes you back to a time. So let's say music. Music is a tremendous anchor. So if you've got it, an anchoring occurs whenever you're in a significant emotional state. Conditioning, anchoring, if you're in a high or low level, but an extreme level emotional state, and something happens, you're now anchored to that thing. So you remember Pavlov and the dogs, where he would have the dogs really hungry and he would have them smell the food, and then he would ring the bell. And if he just walked in and rang a bell, did dogs do anything? No. But once he conditioned them, which didn't take very long, he would ring the bell and they would salivate like they were smelling the food. Okay, well, we're no different. So if you're at a sporting event and it's a really intense time and you hear this song, you hear the Gary Glitter song, the rock and roll song by Gary Glitter when you were at some sporting event, when you hear that song again, you're going to go right back to that time. The same is true with negative things. So like I'm attending a wake tonight. And obviously people are going to be, very sad at that. And if you hear music while that's going on, it could be 2 months from now or even 2 years from now, and you could be, okay, I'm fine, I'm okay with what happened, and then you'll hear that music and you'll go right back to that time. So as I said, you need to understand that this conditioning is happening constantly, and especially with advertising, especially with people that you admire. Remember, we like people who are like us or who are like who we want to be. That's who we connect with and that's who we admire. So if those people do things, then we're going to want to do that. This is why influencers and role models are so important. If you see if your role model is a musician and you see them drinking alcohol and doing these other things, then you're gonna want to do that. But you can also change your association. So, like, let's take alcohol. There was a period of my life where I looked at alcohol as a complete necessity in terms of any type of social activity. My whole family did. How could you have a social activity and not have alcohol? That didn't make sense to us. Well, wait a minute. If we're going to celebrate Christmas or somebody's birthday, we got to be drinking. If there's a vacation, we have to be drinking on the vacation. Otherwise, it's not a vacation. Those things were linked up. Well, then I changed my associations to alcohol. First, it came through massive leverage that I had to stop in order to survive. But then the real flip came because of the change in my daughter. My daughter said it was the greatest thing that I'd ever done. Well, guess what? A brand new neuro-associated condition, a brand new anchor, a brand new trigger was created where not drinking alcohol was now better because it improved my relationship with my daughter, which was much more of a priority for me than what I thought it meant in terms of vacations and things like that. So now I had changed my relationship to that thing. I changed my relationship to alcohol. And here's what's interesting. Once I did that, it changed that relationship with everything else. So suddenly, all of a sudden, events became better without alcohol than they were when alcohol was there. Vacations became better without alcohol than they were before when alcohol was there. And it spread throughout my family. So understand again, start paying more attention about these conditioned responses that you have, because even somebody who knows what they're doing can end up still being put in a conditioned situation, and start using these. You have triggers and anchors and neuroassociative conditioning right now that you can use, especially music. Think about music that motivates you and that excites you, and use it, play it. Use it in the morning. Use it while you're working out. Think about a movie scene that you love, that inspires you. You know, maybe it's the Rocky theme song or something from Rocky. I mean, you know, that movie's 40 years old, and we still go back to that, even if you weren't around when it first came out. But whatever it is, whatever the scene is that can change your state, utilize those anchors and pay attention to, like I said, this weekend when football is on, pay attention to all the anchors that occur. They use the athletes to sell their product, because if you admire the athlete and you see the athlete and then see the product, then you're going to want the product. You know, why do they give $750,000 Richard Mille watches to soccer players and to tennis players? Because the people that watch that sport, they're like, they want them to want to spend that much money on that product. And if the athlete that they admire utilizes that product, then they're going to utilize that product. So all of the time this is happening, become aware. Go from unconscious awareness to conscious awareness. Become aware that these anchors are around you constantly. It's constantly happening. And so start to direct it. And music is a great one to start with because you know those anchors. Video is a great one to start with because you can pick it out. You've got those moments in movies that inspired you. The speech that Sylvester Stallone gives in Creed, the scene in Rocky 2 where they're on the beach and they have the standoff between he and his wife, and at the end of Rocky 2 when he finally defeats whatever it is. Pick those out and watch them and utilize them. And then tomorrow we're going to start talking about how do we change our neuroassociative conditioning? How do we change our triggers? How do we change our anchors on a regular basis and start using this to our advantage as opposed to letting others do it for us? Remember, we want to design our own life and not become part of somebody else's design for theirs. And advertisers are trying to make you part of their design for their life. They use certain things in order to get you to do certain things. And instead, we're going to live the life that we direct and not the one that's directed by somebody else. So good morning to everybody. Drehobel, great to see you down in Florida. Miss Moyer, thank you so much. And thank you for the donation you did to T's mom. That was super awesome. Amy, great to see you. Good morning, Mr. Dakin. Love your brother. Great to see you. Tammy, awesome to see you. Mary, nice to see you. I saw you walking down the street yesterday. It was nice to see you in person. And what a wonderful message. Thank you for sharing. My pleasure, Tammy. Chrissy, my cousin out in Boston. Love you, dear. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.